It's time for Chat with Chuck, live from Windsor, California, discussing stuff on Chuck's mind, life, attitudes, and stuff. And now, your host, Chuck the DJ.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? And welcome to episode 10. Without a little bit of panic there at the beginning. For those of you that were maybe with us last week, we know that we started the show completely with just technical difficulties popping in and out and out and out, and we ended up kind of just we erased the show. We didn't even worry about that show. So this is actually episode 10 redo. Last week actually was episode 10, but because we had so much problems, we we just decided to go ahead and say, scrap that one. Let's just do it again next week. So I do want to say hello to Dance DJ Deb, who was the very first person in the chat, hanging out, waiting for the show to start. Even before I logged on, thank you very much, Dance DJ Deb, and I want to say hello to Big Dogs, who's he's being Big Dog. He's being Big Dog is what he's doing. Champagne Kitty, welcome. Thank you so much. I'm glad you didn't. You're not missing anything yet. DJ Hack lurking. Appreciate that. Hackman, how you doing? So today is going to be. I honestly didn't think when I started doing this. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was going to be doing. I didn't know what was going to happen with it. And to make it to 10, I know that doesn't sound like much. It really doesn't. 10 episodes, big deal. It doesn't sound like much, but to me, it is. There, to think that I've done this and now and I'm enjoying it, and that's the big thing, and that's been kind of a theme of the whole 10 weeks. Is whatever you're doing, you got to enjoy it, and I'm enjoying doing this, and it seems that the episodes that seem to get the most clicks on the YouTube channel, because we record it here, we take it, we put it on YouTube, and we put it on Spotify. The views that seem to get more, the episodes that seem to get more views are the views where we talk about Twitch. And that's not really what I started when I started thinking about this and starting to do. That's not exactly what I didn't plan on making it a Twitch-centric show. So we are going to delve off into other things, but I do have some Twitch stuff that we're going to be talking about today. Tennessee Girl, the busiest mod on Twitch, is here. Thank you very much for coming in, Tennessee Girl. And so today, among other things, as I said, if anybody saw the little ads I put out, we're going to be talking about Twitch partners. In the Twitch part of the show, we're going to be talking about Twitch partners, and I reached out to 7 different Twitch partners to ask them the good, the bad, and the ugly about being a partner on Twitch, and I got 5 of them that responded to me, and then with pretty significant responses, and then I got a couple that just kind of gave me a little pieces here or there. But I'm going to wait a little bit to get into that, because I think for the people that show up late, they don't want to miss some of that. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Here it is, May 27th, and it's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. We're at about 80 degrees here in Northern California. This weekend, we're supposed to hit about 104. And, of course, the weekends, being a mobile DJ, the weekends are when I work. And my event on Saturday is outside in Napa Valley, and I know you probably all don't know about Napa Valley, but it is notoriously hot in Napa Valley. One news report that I saw was supposed to be 111, where I'm supposed to be on Saturday. So I'm not looking forward to that a whole lot, but such is the life. If you're a mobile DJ, if you're out and about and you book a wedding, you book a corporate event, you book a sound gig, whatever. You deal with what you deal with. It's not like you can say, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that's just way too warm for me. I can't do your wedding. I can't do your event." No, the old adage of a show must go on. That's what we do. The show must go on, and you do whatever it takes. You drink extra water. You try to stay extra cool. You bring your fan. You whatever you can do to beat the heat and stay comfortable and not pass out from from the heat is what you do. So we're not looking forward to the heat today, but it has been fun doing this for the 10 weeks. And again, as I say every week, this is Chat with Chuck. And for those of you that are listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube, which Tennessee Girl just put the link up there, Mashup Mike, how you doing? All the way from Maui. You just come to Maui to cool off. Yeah, I do miss that. But it is called Chat with Chuck, and so I do spend some time responding to the people that are in the chat. And so it may be a little disjointed for those of you that are watching it on YouTube, listening to it on YouTube, or listening to it on Spotify, because you're like, what? What's he talking about? Who's he talking to now? He talks to his chat because it is Chat with Chuck. Mashup Mike is in the house, a longtime Chuck supporter and my original, pretty close to my original, what I call my technical moderator. Mashup Mike helped me with a whole lot of stuff when I first got started. The very first technical moderator I had was a guy by the name of DJ Blast, who was a Maui DJ also, but he had moved to New York City. And DJ Blast helped me set all this stuff up. And then Mashup Mike kind of took me to the next level of all that kind of stuff. And now he is big time. Mashup Mike is big time. He is a partner on Twitch, and he started with little humble beginnings, little Mashup Mike playing mashups that myself and DJ Ryan kind of sent his way, and he took that and ran with it, and it's honestly very, very inspiring, because it just goes to show you what can happen, what can be done. Not everybody is going to, for some reason, click like Mashup Mike has, and all of a sudden gone, and blown up. There are more what I call middle or baby streamers than there are bigger streamers, like the higher up affiliates or into the partner world. And I'm talking again now just the DJ world, because that's my life. That's the DJ world. And I know on Twitch there's it's mainly a gamer platform, and but we talk about the DJ world. And excuse me, my buddy DJ Ryan 22, my Pookie, is in the house. How you doing, Ryan? And another another beneficiary of Mashup Mike's stuff, DJ Ryan right there. So I am killing a little bit of time. I'm just making sure that some of the scragglers are gonna waltz in, and before we actually kick off the show, we are going to talk about Twitch partners today. We're going to talk about my favorite. Pretty close to my favorite book of all time, On This Date in Music. We'll talk a little bit about that. Maybe story time. I've got another weird phone call that we're gonna clue you in on, pass you on, let you listen to, and just kind of stuff. But we're gonna try to cram it all in an hour. Now I know 2 weeks ago we did an extended version of Chat with Chuck. We did an hour and a half, and that was a little wacky. But today we're gonna try to keep it down to an hour. So I think that would be a good thing. I think that's what we're gonna try to do today. I do have my notes as always. I've got my notes, and I am not cool enough to be able to have stuff on like an iPad or a tablet or on my phone. I have actually handwritten paper notes, printed out emails from people that responded to me, and all that kind of stuff. So what I usually try to do is I kind of look at my notes here real quick, which is what I'm doing right now, and to get an idea of what do I want to talk about, or what do I want to just forget about or move on or something along those lines. I talked a little bit about this last week, but like I say, last week we kind of just blew off because of all the episodes, technical problems that we had last week. One of the things that my wife brought up a couple weeks ago was that she made a comment about me being one of the first generation of mobile DJs. not Scotch Neck. Um, and I talked to a couple other DJs. I'm on Facebook. I'm on a seniors DJ board, which are DJs that are 55 and over, which I am. And the conclusion is yes, we are kind of the first generation of mobile DJs, because um, I went full time in 1985. Some of you know that, and most of these DJs that I was talking to in this chat were almost as long as me. A few of them as long. But before that, there wasn't really mobile DJs. I mean, there were some DJs. There were some guys that were out there doing weddings or doing their block parties. But the actual business of being a mobile DJ, and especially those that decided to try and make it full time and make it as a profession, do it as a living, supporting themselves, such as I do, that really, in pre 85, pre 83, 82, that really wasn't even, there was nobody thinking that a mobile DJ could be a profession. And, so I'm kind of on the ground floor of that. And, that's when the DJs conventions kicked off, the Mobile Beats, the DJ Times in Atlantic City, Mobile Beat in Las Vegas and LA for a while. That's when it really took off. That's when the mobile DJ world really took off. And so all these youngsters that are coming along, and all the information that they can gather now on the internet and on chat boards and on YouTube and Instagram. And it doesn't take much to be a mobile DJ anymore. It's so easy. You can go to Costco and buy DJ gear. You can play off Spotify. You don't have to buy music anymore. You can just stream it. We had to dive in record stores and go to bins and buy whole albums for one song that we would play. So there's a lot going on to being a mobile DJ that, and I know we kind of sound like, the old guy, get off my lawn, you kids, I remember when we had to go out and actually, hook up speakers and amplifiers and processors and all kinds of stuff. And, now all that stuff's built into the speakers and all that kind of thing. So it makes life a lot easier. Thank God, honestly. It is so much easier to be a mobile DJ now on at least on the equipment level. And those of you that are mobile DJs, maybe in the chat or listening to this, know that audiences are not as easy to appease or to be with than they were back in the day. And I got a bunch of smartasses in the chat right now, and I'm ignoring some of it. But it is great. The chat is going. The chat is going great. Big Dog's mouthing off. Mashup Mike's rolling with him. That's what's up, podcast. How you do it? The game has changed for sure. Yeah. My old saying used to be, if it ain't big, it ain't shit. If it ain't big, if it ain't heavy, it's not worth it. You're gonna go buy speakers, you're gonna go buy a power amp. You buy those little bit. It ain't gonna cut it. But back then too, also I was doing a lot bigger events. I was doing like high school dances and big proms and 1,000, 1,200 people, and I couldn't get away with what I have today. Radioactivity 86. Thank you for being here. So yeah, the times have changed, but along with everything else, we don't drive stick shifts anymore unless you want to. Now we have automatic transmission. So things move along, and not always for the better, but most of the time for the better. And especially in the DJ world, it is much cooler, and it is much cooler to be a DJ now. No transmissions in an EV. Yeah, how much easier is that? So I think the world of mobile DJs, being one of the first generation mobile DJs, yeah, that's kind of cool, and I like it. I wear that with a badge of honor. Chuck the Humble DJ right here. A note that I had that I wanted actually to get out into the world, and I didn't do it. But I will put it out there right now, and so maybe we can talk about this next week. But I will let some of you that are mobile DJs or just DJs, in the chat or listening to this, if you want to message me or email me or whatever, I have a note here called Event Horror Stories. These are things that happened that were beyond your control, not because you did something stupid to make the event bad. And I'm going to give you an example of one of my. And again, I have more than one, but I'm going to give you an example of one that I did years and years and years ago. I was still doing school dances, but I got booked into it was a Jewish Hungarian christening party for a 1-year-old at a rec center in town. And my very first agent, a guy named Bob, put me into this event, and there was like 400 people. So we had the mom of the baby being christened. We had the mom of the mom, right? And then we had the grandmother. So the mom of the mom, the mom, and the mom, and the mom, and the mom. They were like the three people in charge, and all three of these people had 3 different styles of music that they liked. The mom, of course, liked the newer stuff. The mom liked oldies like Motown, that kind of thing. And then the mom liked big band and all that kind of crap. So I'm playing music, and that was back in the day when I brought in my full light system, lights, lasers, bubbles, all kinds of. And about every other song, one of the moms would come up to me and say, "Stop playing this crap that you're playing and play what I want to play, or we're not going to pay you." Okay, that was one thing. Then there was a guy in the crowd that kept coming up to me and telling me to change music, and reminded me that the last DJ they had, we beat him up. We beat up the last DJ we had here. Okay, right? And then the third thing that was amazing to me was that on the end of my system, sitting over on the corner by my speaker stack, there were 3 kids. There were 3 boys, and this is truly amazing to me. And they were having a spitting contest to see who could spit the farthest out onto the dance floor without hitting anybody. And the clincher there is that nobody was stopping them. No parent came up to Billy and Mikey and Johnny over here and said, "Stop it." Nah, they just kept doing it till they got tired. I'm like, what? Yeah, exactly. Tennessee says that's so nasty. It's stupid, and I totally agree. I mean, parents. I mean, what are they thinking? You talk about having kids and no. Not raising the kids right or not being parents. My thing is parents don't want to be parents anymore. They want to be friends. But that was just truly amazing. And so finally, about the 5th or 6th time, and I remember this like clear as day. The moms, the second mom came up to me and she told me to play funky music. Play this funky music, White Boy. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. And I played, and I put it on, and the crowd jumped all, and they were dancing, they were great. The grandmother came up to me and said, "Stop this song right now. Play a Glenn Miller song, or you're not getting paid." Okay, now picture this: 300 people partying, jumping up around, really, really having a good time. I had a big sound system, and I just hit stop. Exactly like that. Complete and utter silence. And I just stood there. And the mom 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 all came up to me, and they're like, and I said, "Okay, you guys figure this out," because she came up to me, and you all say you're not going to pay me if I don't play this, and I'll leave. I'll stop right now. I'll go home right now. I'll stop. So they straightened it out and they said, no, keep going. So at the end of the show, it was all fine and dandy. They danced, they partied. They actually gave me a tip. That was really nice. And they said to me, they go, "Hey, if we have another party, can we would you come back and be our DJ again?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, no problem. Just call Bob, my agent, and ask for Harold." And I gave him the name Harold. And I went back to my agent, Bob, and I said, "If these people ever call up and want to book DJ Harold, I am not doing it. And if I go to an event and it's these people, I'm leaving. I won't even. I am not doing it." About 6 months later, Bob calls me up. He says, "Hey, I got a call for DJ Harold." I said, I'm not doing it. I don't know whatever happened, but anyway, so that's an event horror story, and again, not something that I did. Not I've heard DJs tell horror stories because they did something stupid, Oh, I left late or my car had a flat. Well, that's your own frickin' fault. Event horror stories to me are something that happened to you that are beyond your control. That you didn't cause it, but that's an event horror story. So if you have any of those, if anybody has one of those, you can share it with me, and maybe next week I'll share it with the world, as we were. Event horror stories are just tremendous. Okay, so I think I've waited. I think I've killed enough time. I want to talk about Twitch partners. Ooh. For those of you that you get on Twitch, you're streaming, whether you're a gamer or you're a DJ, and you do so many hours, you get so many followers, you get a few constant viewers, and now you're an affiliate. Okay, great. Okay, now you're like, okay, now you want to get partner. Mike, dun 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 dun. You want to get partner, and with partner comes some perks. No, we haven't even started yet, Ryan. With partner comes some perks. You get a few more, and if there are any partners in the chat other than Mike, and Mike is welcome to chime in. You get extra emotes. You get extra emote space. There's a partner Discord you get to hang out on. You get a little bit better viewership because you get chances to be on front page. Now, front page, for those of you that don't know, I guess you can apply to be on front page, and if they deem you worthy, you will get a front page spot. Now, the only ones I've heard are 8-hour front page spots. If you get on front page and you get a spot, it's 8 hours. I'm not sure about that. Maybe Mike can clue me in. But I got a front page story from a DJ. So they were scheduled to be on front page. They got the okay from Twitch. The Twitch guys said, "Yep, you're going to be on front page and you're going to be at this time, so be ready to go." And woohoo, there you go, you're front page. So now this streamer is streaming, and he's ready to go. Okay. Here comes the time. They said it'll be right around XYZ time, because I'm not even going to share this kind of stuff, so you don't. And he waited, and he was streaming, and he waited, and he was streaming, and he waited, and he was streaming, and he waited, and he was streaming. And finally, the slots are 8 hours. Okay, thank you, Mike. So finally, after 3 hours of waiting, it never comes. His front page thing never comes, never logs on, and he actually changed the name. You can change the title of your stream, and he changed that because he figured, okay, well, I guess it's not happening, so I'm gonna stop advertising it. So yeah, and he played for another hour. I think it was maybe hour and a half, something like that. And he logged off and he went on, and he never got on the front page. So, and I was at his show, and because I try to be supportive. I try to be supportive of people, and so a couple days later, I'm like, whatever happened? What did you ever? Did they just blow you off? What the deal? Apparently, on his Twitch settings, he had set, it's called, like adult content, mature content, something along those lines. Anyway, so he had that set up, right? And because he had that on his chat, they didn't raid him. They didn't bring him on front page. Okay, this is the word I'm getting. Now, I haven't talked to anybody from front page. I'm not that cool. I don't have access to the front page partner Discord chat. My feeling is that and maybe he didn't read the fine print, and I'll give you that. But to me, they should let you know that. Or if they're getting ready to raid you, and they see that you have that on, frickin' tell them, so he can turn it off or whatever. So being a partner, isn't all wine and roses. That was one of the cons, or not necessarily cons, but that was one of the bad stories. I don't know what to call it. That was one of the bad stories. Another one, and as you can see, I've got a few emails here, and I'm going to kind of jump around on the emails. I'm not going to read them all, verbatim, and I'm not going to read them all from one person and then move to another person and whatever. I'm gonna jump around, because that's what I do. Because I'm me, and I want to do my shows like I do my shows. One of the things that was brought up that was kind of a negative, or at least for this individual. And I wanted to, okay. He has gotten, let's see, how can I paraphrase this? They've made it easier to obtain partnership and are not denying anyone as long as you meet all the metrics and the criteria. As for me personally, I've seen my viewership and followers increase slightly. This, however, has not led to increased income. If anyone thinks partnership equals more in your pocket, they're in for a rude surprise. And I'm betting that there are people that think, just like the people that are trying to get to affiliate and think they can make more money as an affiliate. If you don't have people supporting you down here, you're not going to have people support you here. Once you get to a partner, just because you're a partner doesn't mean you're going to make more money. You may get more viewers, as been pointed out, yes and no, in some of these emails I've gotten. One of the people said, yeah, they've seen increased viewership, they've seen increased invites to raid trains, but it hasn't equaled more money or even more average viewers. Okay, besides being an uptick in viewers and a bit more exposure, not much in terms of huge advantage, more status, I suppose. I get that. Being a partner, that's a big deal. It is a big deal. Okay, here's one. And I'm doing a couple cons, so then I can go to some of the positives. The con is that you are watched and scrutinized closer to ensure you are still meeting Twitch's standards of excellence. But if you're already a good streamer with quality content, then that should not be a big issue. So yeah, and as Big Dog says, if you're on Twitch while your goal is to make money, you're in the wrong place. And Mashup Mike agrees. Exactly. Champagne Kitty agrees. Now, my battle there, or my discussion there, or whatever, is that when Twitch first came on, not when it first came on, when the big DJ migration to Twitch happened during the pandemic, that is what a lot of DJs were hoping for, especially a lot of us DJs who were on Mixcloud, and we couldn't monetize Mixcloud. Now look, here's Twitch. You can make money on Twitch. So a lot of us that were over here on Mixcloud go, hey, let's go over there and we'll make a bunch of money. Okay. Now, granted, some of us do. Some do, not me. For example, and I love this lady. Her name's Cintica. I've talked to her about her before. She's a streamer from Germany. She's a partner, and I watched her this morning, and there was. She has a running tally of subs per day. At that point, she'd been on about 2.5 hours, and she had 360 subs already today. There was a gentleman that gifted a sub to somebody in the chat, and when you gift somebody a sub, it says, "Hey, Chuck the DJ gifted a sub." They've given XYZ number of subs to this channel. This gentleman had given over 3,000. Gosh, I wish my exact number. It was like 3,365 subs. 3,365 subs in her channel. Now, at $6 a sub, which is kind of what you're talking. Well, I don't know, $15,000, right? So Cintica does okay. She does okay now. And Big Dog says, you got to be like a big name or a woman in a bikini chatting. No, and I will disagree with you. And again, Cintica is my perfect example of this. Cintica is I have no idea what she's saying. She speaks German. She speaks German. She's a good-looking lady. She doesn't sell sex, as I tell my wife. She always dresses nice. She's got great hair. She's got a great setup. She's got trussing. She's got moving lights and stuff. She's very energetic. She plays really, housey, techno-y, EDM music. Not my bag, but it's fun to listen to for a while. But she's not one of these girls that's got a butt cam that is selling sex, and she's not one of those. Hold on a second, making a note here. And so you don't have. There are a lot of people now. Okay, let's go over to the gentleman world. Okay, let's go over to the gentleman world. Some of you may know Forgard, another great streamer. Beyond energetic. I tried doing a topless show once, John. It didn't do too well. Ryan will attest to that, by the way. Forgard, another great streamer that lives to survive and makes a bunch of money. DJ Apollo, his buddy, Apollo Forgard, both guys. Apollo's a great guy, really nice guy, and it's his source of income. It's Forgard's source of income. I don't know. Add Buttcam, but you're right. It is a rarity for anybody to be able to survive on Twitch. But it is what a lot of I hope to make a bunch of money on Twitch. Did I say kick? I meant to make a bunch of money. I hoped that I would gotten to that position where I could stream 3 or 4, maybe 5 hours a day right here in my studio at home and never have to leave and say screw you to the IRL gigs unless there's something special I want to do. That would have been great, but didn't happen. All right. When I began pushing for partner, I already had 60 to 65 strong in my community. That was in part due to the launch of the DJ program. I saw a 10 viewer increase once it started. Once he got into the DJ program, it started to help out. Now, when I began pushing for partner with the help of several other streamers, I was able to achieve the necessary numbers, and that was a biggie too. And a couple guys mentioned, the community that is built up with the partners. Having that check mark comes with intangibles that really can't be put down into stats. I've seen a number of raids that I get up to. I've gotten more connections with streamers that I didn't know before, and I get opportunities like Front Page. The only thing that's harder to deal with now is my own mental health because he streams a lot. This person does. Communities was something that a number of DJs brought up. Through the communities I have supported over the years, their support for our channel brought new viewers, which in turn became regular viewers and new connections. As part of working towards the goal of partner, it forced me to up my streaming game. Bring better shows, be even more interactive with the chat, and improve the overall quality and content of the channel. I'm not really sure how I can be more interactive with my chat, but I don't know. I've kind of missed a little bit of what's going on here in the chat, so I hope you guys look like you're having a good time. Tennessee wants a bot hug from ReadyBot. ReadyBot's a great bot, one of my favorites. BKK, how you doing? I didn't see you sneak in here. I appreciate you being here today. Partners. Being a partner is a blessing and a curse. A blessing because I don't have to sweat the numbers and I can relax a little and have some less stress. It's a curse because there are many. Oh, I like this one. It's a curse because there are many that now reach out for raid support, and they have never been in my channel or have even popped in once or twice, have never connected with my community, and now they want support. And in some cases, they're demanding support. And I have to explain to them what community connections means before I tell them no. The community is very important. Chris Cutt, my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Chris Cutt, another great streamer to watch, and another partner, by the way. The partners have to have a stronger community to keep their numbers up, and how they do it. I mean, everybody does it differently. You know, just like on anything else, there are so many different types of shows on Twitch, and even the partners. Now, the difference here, I think the partners, they want to keep their community. So I think maybe they are, boy, and I don't want this to sound wrong, partners. I think maybe they are catering a little bit more to the stream or to the viewers than they are to their heart. Now, I know we all do this because we enjoy it. You're playing music that you like. DC Artist, how you doing? She says community is so important. You know, people are doing this because they enjoy it. We enjoy playing music. We enjoy interacting with the chat. Um, that's a biggie. Um, and there's people out there for almost every style of music. You know, you know, my wife is into goth stuff. She loves the goth, alternative, proto-punk, post-punk, you know, type stuff, which is why you rarely see my wife in my chats. You know, so the community that they are building is important to them, and I think that they cater to that a little bit more. Where some DJs, they're going to play what they want to play, and I don't want to mention any names, but they're going to play what they want to play, and it doesn't matter if there's anybody there or not, or if there's one person or 100 people. You know what? I'm playing what I want to play, and come hell or high water, and that's great because that's coming from the heart, and that's what they want to do. Dance Dance DJ Deb says, yes, the partners have a community, but wouldn't have if it wasn't for us. They need to remember where they started and support upcoming channels. I was going to go there, Deb. I'm glad you brought that up because I might annoy some partners here in a minute because I do have something I want to bring up. I brought it up last week, but we didn't we didn't save it. So yeah, I don't know if that's true. That's just a thought of mine. I know some streamers that stream what they want to stream. They don't get big numbers. They're lucky they got affiliate. They'll never be partners. And you know that's the thing. They're not being fake. It's just like if I'm DJing a real live gig, if I'm doing an IRL gig, I'm going to a club, I'm doing a wedding, I'm doing a corporate event. I'm not playing Chuck the DJ music. No, they're not listening to the Tubes all night long. They're not listening to rock all night long. They're getting what they want, whether it be 80s, 90s, disco, you know, hip hop, hippity hop, as I like to call it. You know, so you're doing that, and that's what you're hired for. That's what you're paid for, and that's how you want to make your money. And if you don't do that, you're not going to make your money, and you're not going to have the gigs, and you're not going to be able to support yourself as a DJ. Okay, so there is a fine line in there somewhere. Now, I know, and again, I'm not mentioning any names. I know some partners that are great. They're very nice people, and throughout the years, they have rated me. I have rated them. I've been supportive. I've subbed them, and you know whatnot. I've done what I can, and then it seems to me. And again, this is just my own viewpoint. You know, please don't make any more out of this than anything else other than Chuck says. It seems that once people make partners, they sort of, and kind of like what Deb said, they sort of forget where they came from. And I have noticed I get fewer raids. I don't get a lot of raids anyway. My streams, I'm a baby streamer, but I have noticed that I have gotten fewer raids from people that I know that have made partner, right? That used to raid me a lot more, that don't raid me as much now. And I get that, you know, the partners are supporting partners, and that's great, you know. But as been said, I think maybe that they get a little blindsided, or is that what this, narrow-sighted? What's the word I want to use? Because yeah, I mean, it's like with me now. Now when I'm getting ready to raid out. I rated Mashup Mike last night. Tunnel Vision. Thank you, DC Artist. I honestly, you know, I get, 10, 12, 13 people, in my chat. If I don't get a raid, that's kind of what I draw, And when I go to Raid Out and I'm looking to see who's live, and I'm going to use Mashup Mike as an example because I like Mike and Mike's a good guy. But Mike has 200 and something people in his room, and XYZ DJ down here has got 13 or 14 people in his room. Well, Mike doesn't really need my 13 people. He's cruising. He's going. He's got a good thing going on. But this person down here with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 people, they could use the support. And so so maybe it's two-sided. I have a tendency to raid the smaller viewers because I think they need the help more. What little help I can give, but I think that as opposed to somebody up here and they've got 150 people, 250 people, and yeah, there are a lot of variables that go into it, DC artists, and I don't want to make it sound like I never raid a partner or they never raid me or I never do this or I never do that, because there always are exceptions. There's always changes. There's always different ideas. There's always different things that pop up even at the moment. We were all small channels when we all started out, and for some reason, whatever reason, somebody clicks. Great shows, great content. They work hard. They stream. I know I'm not the most consistent streamer as far as hours wise and time. I tried for a long time to be a consistent streamer. I tried to have my my yacht rock show on whatever it was, Tuesday nights, and I had my rock show and my mashup show. And I tried to be very consistent because I thought that's what you needed to do. Well, it never worked out for me, but whatever. I'm fairly happy. Would I like to have 50, 60, 70 people in my chat all the time, dropping biddies, dropping subs, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be cool, but that can be variable because raids too, because of consistency. Yeah, and that's I understand that. I do shows. I have what I call my Monday mellow. I have my hump day mellow Mondays and Wednesday nights, and what I say is they're on my schedule, and I plan on doing those. But if I don't want to do it that day, I'm not going to. Whatever. I do a lot of pop-ups. Because I'm home. If I'm not DJing a gig or I'm not on the golf course, I'm home, and I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go on today. And I pop on. Well, yeah, I don't expect that. Much. At that point, I'm doing it for what I want. Many people that have raided me during my push, I would love to raid them back, but they are not on when I'm raiding out. Many times it's hard to raid back when they are not there. And yeah, Mashup Mike, Hawaii time zones, I understand that too. There's a couple guys that I raid that our times just don't, or I shouldn't say, they rarely mash up. They don't work. Some are really late night streamers, some are early morning streamers, some are during the day streamers. I've completely lost my okay. I went through that one. Yeah, some of this I don't want to. I don't want to share. Community in three of these emails that I've gotten, community just kept coming up. So partners, I mean, I don't know if there is a DJ that is streaming on Twitch that wouldn't want to be a partner, a highlighter. Yeah, I know. I am such a fly by the seat. Maybe that's what the deal. I'm such a fly by the seat of my pants kind of guy. There's an Australian streamer with a tiny following that I like, but I don't see him live a lot when I'm on Twitch. And yeah, I mean, if you're not a consistent style of streamer, I can see how that would be a problem. I think most of the partners, I've almost wasted the whole hour. Most of the partners that I know, are fairly consistent in their shows. They know when they're doing their shows. They know, on Tuesday night they're doing a mashup. On Wednesday night they're doing XYZ. That's all through that. Been through the channels as a mod, and that made partner. Lots of work's getting there. A lot of work getting to be a partner. And for those of you that have made partners, again, congratulations to you guys, because it is a lot harder than I think most people think. I'm going to give myself a chance to take a swig of water here real quick, and in doing so, those of you that have been viewers of my show know that the last few months, I've been getting these weird phone calls, these weird messages on my machine that Twitch, and I'm all Twitch, that Verizon doesn't seem to get. They don't care about. They just say, well, you're getting these weird messages. They're getting crossed on the phone line somewhere. We can't do anything about it. We don't know what's going on. So as I take a drink, I'm going to play one of these phone calls that I got, I think it was about 8 days ago. So check this out.
Hey, is this the Zoo 100.8.3 FM? I got something to get off my chest. This is Gary from Port St. Lucie in Florida here. We're neighbors and all over here, but you guys got to start going faster there in the left lane, You guys forget that the left lane is the passing lane? I'm cruising down I-95 the other day just to get to work, and there's this freaking guy, an absolute menace, going 52 in a freaking left lane. 50 freaking 2 in Florida. I got grandmas and Buicks flying past me on the right side like it's the Indy 500. Don't get me started on that, I'm glad I can get a hold of this radio station and tell you guys to just move over. Let the roads be for the people that have to get to work. Don't get me started on my blood pressure. What's the deal here? They teach us in driver's ed, move over. I guess they're handing out licenses in the cereal boxes now. If you guys want the scenic route, go up to frickin' Wisconsin or something. Stay out of Florida, buddy. Stay in the right lane, jerk. Thanks for taking my call. I love your show. I listen to it all the time. I've been living in Florida my whole life, and your radio station rocks. Love the Zoo!
And I do not know. I have no idea why I am getting these messages on my machine. And I contacted my Verizon people, and they said they'll look into it. They'll get back to me. They never have. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on. All I can a troll call maybe. Yeah, go back to Wisconsin. It makes me. Okay, that's what's up, Oddcast. I will admit that yes, I have a machine. Okay, I'm 70 years. Okay, my wife hates it when I say that. I'm 69 years old, and I'm stuck in my ways. And some of this grumpy stuff does come from old guy get off my lawn stuff. Because I've been around, and yeah, he is old. He is that old. There is one other point of reference here that somebody made about being a partner, and they said, "Why are you streaming? Are you planning to fail? When so many new creators go live or upload a video, they're doing it almost as they're expected to do it. There's no joy. Their streams have no goal, or there really isn't meant to succeed, which you need to do if you're going to be a partner." I don't know how much. And there are a couple partners in the chat, and I don't know how they if they want to share anything as far as being a partner or deciding to be a partner. Was there a moment where you said, I need to be a partner, I want to be a partner, I'm gonna up my game, I'm gonna get better graphics. Somebody said this last week, that if you think that graphics and your wingdings, I think is what they said, are important, you're nothing with them. You're nothing without them. So the little things that pop up or that happen in your chat, they may be fun. Even the little redemptions that we DJs put that nobody hardly ever uses. If your stream is not fun or not entertaining or is not captivating without them, it's going to be nothing with them. That's just because you have things that pop up and zip out and go around. That's not gonna get you any more viewers. I do all my stuff off one computer. I've got one $49.95 cam here in front of me, and I have thought about trying to. Oh, maybe I should get a better camera, or maybe I should get better lighting, or maybe I need a butt cam. You think that would get me more viewers? Well, I mean, if you've seen my butt, you might say yes, because I got a pretty nice butt. But no, I don't really know what it is. Your personality shines through more than anything. And that's What's Up Oddcast says that. It's your personality. Champagne, no butt cam. And it is, I guess. And there's a huge chip on my shoulder, and I, maybe that'll be a whole another podcast of Chuck's chip on his shoulder, I'd like to think that I have a pretty good personality. I think I'd like to think that my shows are fairly entertaining, my normal stream shows. I sort of cater to the crowd. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Alex Mejia in the mix. Thank you for coming in. Thank you so much, sir. And we talked about this a while back. We always say this. Every streamer says this. Follow the DJs in the chat. That's a great DJ. Mr. Latin House. That's a great that's a great DJ. Alex is a great DJ. DC Artist is a great show on Saturdays. Follow the DJs in the chat. And somebody pointed out, is it wasted air? Because how many times does somebody actually follow you? How many times, at the end of your show or when you leave somebody's chat, do you check in your thing and you saw, oh, look, you got, 5 new follows from when, Mr. Latin House said, hey, follow Chuck the DJ. No, it doesn't happen. I mean, yeah, sure. Once in a while you get one, get one here, you get a scan. But don't stop saying it. It is very nice. It is very nice. Alex, I love your shows. It is very nice, nice supportive thing for a DJ to say to other DJs, because here again, I'm using the word community. It's a huge community here. There's I think Mr. Latin House, if I'm not mistaken, weren't you at a Twitch get together this weekend in Chicago? Is that am I up there? Am I correct? They have a Twitch get together. They have one down here in the Bay Area. I went last year. I kind of felt like the odd man out. But it was fun. DJ KGB was there with his family and stuff. I got to hang out with them. Yeah. Oh, you hosted it. Well, you didn't invite me. Jeez, they're community. But yeah, it is a huge community, and it is. And if everybody can be supportive of everybody, and it is hard because it's like, look. It's some of you partners that are in there, don't forget where you came from. Occasionally, you know what? You got 200 people in your chat. You know what would be badass to raid some cat with 30 people, 15 people into their chat? You know how awesome that person. You would have a life. That guy would probably give you a kidney if you did that. And I know that they don't do that. I know that most of the partners, they want to raid the other partners because they're that, but man, that would be so badass. I mean, if Amaranth would raid me just once, Amaranth, come on, babe. Once out of every 15 times that you raid out into DJ 506, another great streamer you guys should follow. If you could, look, that cat needs your support. And sure, you've got 200 people in your room. You're going to raid some cat with 15, 20 people in their thing. And chances are 150 people are going to leave almost immediately, But maybe 50 people, maybe 10 people, maybe 5 people will hang out and support that new baby streamer. Maybe there's there's somebody that really is a great streamer that maybe they've only been streaming for a little while and they could use that support. You partners that are in the chat, if you could do that, that would be totally awesome. My name's Chat with Chuck. John, thank you. Gifting a sub to Alex. Your naughty dreams don't count, buddy. Thank you, Alex, or thank you, John, for the gifted sub. I appreciate that. John's a huge supporter. Dance and Step. I don't know how many times I had rated partners and spent time in theirs for a few hours, and got few returns. It's not because of the time either. That is why they don't see me. And Deb bringing the truth. That goes back to the, and I don't want to, I'm not trying to make, we're going to run out of time again. I don't want to make this sound like a partner slam. I'm not slamming partners. It's hard. It's hard to get to be a partner. They bust their butts to be partners. They jump through hoops. And if I'm not mistaken, you can apply and get turned down, only to have to reapply. So it's not just hey, you get 60 people in your room all the time. It is hard. It is hard to become a partner. I want to make sure that I didn't forget anything. Are you streaming? Is it to meet people? Is it to make money? Is it to be famous? Is it to grow? Is it to entertain others? Or is it to kill time? If you're going live to make money, you're probably not going to see any earnings for months or most likely years, so you'll mostly burn out and stop trying. So we've talked about the money thing, and that's a lot of people got here. DJ 506, I just got here, not sure what we're talking about, but I think it's very selfish when a huge streamer does not raid out at all. Oh, yeah, I've seen that too. I've seen so many big streamers with a few thousand people in the room, and then they just end. Yeah, 506, I've seen that. We're kind of talking about partners, 506, and getting to be a partner, and some of the ups and downs that partners themselves have. I mean, it's not easy. But yeah, I've actually seen. I'm not going to say just partners on that, but why don't people raid out? I've watched streamers. And all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, and then why don't people raid out? I'll teach them. Do they need to learn how to raid out? I don't know. Okay, I answered this one. I did that one. I thought I had more pages. So I'm missing a page somewhere. Let's see. Streaming as much as I do takes a lot out of me, and I'm not complaining. It's just a reality. I'm beyond blessed to do what I do every day. There are so many other DJs and non-DJ streamers that don't have the visibility I do. I've been helped, I've been supported, and honestly lucky to be where I am. I'll get it out. I speak for living. It all comes because I am a partner. A very positive, very, 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 very partner. So yeah, I think I've talked about partners enough. I don't know if that cleared up any weirdness in partners. Is there anything that anybody else? I have a part of the show. We're going to go a little overtime again. I don't know what the heck. I have a little part of the show where I like to call it. You're ready for this? I like to call it "Run to the Chat." Now the chat's been running pretty good all day long. But this is where I like to open up to the chat. If there's anything you'd like to talk about or you want to ask me about, whether it be personal, whether it be streaming, whether it be just you want to bring something up, it doesn't have to be about partners. It doesn't, hey, you know what? It doesn't even have to be about Twitch. We can talk about something other than Twitch. DJ 506 says, if we are talking about partners, mine is absolutely crazy. Why didn't she marry me? You can say what you want about your partner, DJ 506. And I have said this over and over and over. But I have the most tolerant wife on Twitch, bar none. There is nobody, and I mean nobody, that has a more supportive wife on Twitch than I do. Black Sheep Kajura, Sheepy to some of you. If you only know what she put up with. My God, all of us streamers, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your partners, your whatevers, they've got to be supportive because what we do is so weird. So I missed something here. Thank you about being here. You know, check. I know a streamer who has a policy of not rating out if he didn't get bids. Yeah, that's so rude. Champagne Kitty says she knows a streamer who has a policy of not rating out if he didn't get any bids or subs that day. I would never rate out. No, I always get something. I always get a little something. But that's ego. What is the problem? That goes back to building the community. You know what? You're doing this, and yeah, again, how do DJ Ryan says, here's a question. Do you ever get that not so fresh feeling? Yes, Ryan, mainly when I'm around you. I've been meaning to talk to you about that. Shower, deodorant, personal hygiene. We'll talk later offline. Now I forgot where I was. How do you handle someone who demands raids even though you were nice to them, raid them once? I've heard about people that have demanded you have to raid me. I raided you. Well, no, I don't have to do anything. And if you're going to be a dick, I'm not going to worry about it at all. This goes back to a couple of weeks ago. We talked about drama on Twitch. Ladies and gentlemen, we're into overtime. We talked about drama on Twitch a couple of weeks ago, and the demanding people that think that you owe them something. Nobody owes anybody anything. And Dance Dance DJ Deb, if I'm raided, I'll raid you back. Yes. And I do the same thing. If I've raided somebody a number of times, which I would say a number of times would be over 3 times, and they have never raided me back, unless it's a time zone thing or a time frame thing, which I will forgive them for. But I will, and maybe that is, I don't know if it's ego, but yeah, it's like, look, I mean, if I see you on and I'm on and I've rated you 3 or 4 times and now I see that you're not on, I mean, did you even check it out? I don't know. I mean, I know that there are people that always seem to raid the same people all the time. I try not to do that. I don't want to always, I don't want to always raid DJ 506, or I don't always want to raid Mashup Mike, or I don't want to always raid DJ, Dance Dance DJ Deb. I try to spread my raids out, and again, that's a little community thing. I'm trying to share that love. Let's see. Small print make it seem like everyone. It's happening. John Dean says it's happening more than you think. You do have to make a point. There are some people that I would like to raid for sure, but like I said, it's a time zone thing. Yeah, and I get that, and I try not to hold that against. I try not to hold if there's a time zone thing. I try to do that. Irish Dragon only raids golfers. Oh yes, we golf shows. This is here. Oh wait, no, over here. Here's my golf outfits that we'll leave on here while we're talking, so you guys can see how I dress on the golf course. That's my golf bag. right there. That's my bright ass golf bag, and these are some of my bright ass golf clothes. Um, I don't know. The world of Twitch, the Twitchiverse, is so amazing. It's like anything else, I guess. You're not going to get along with everybody. Not everybody's going to love everybody. Not everybody's going to see eye to eye. Not everybody's going to get along. But you're going to find people in your community, that at least maybe are of the same mental mindset, and those are the people you want to support. And I can't stress this enough about just being happy. Oh, look, that's so funny. Irish Dragon just wrote Happy Tuesday. you know and we can say all kinds of stuff about it, but you gotta do what you feel is right for you, and you gotta be happy doing it. Don't look at the legs, DC. I've lost my tan on my legs, but I think I'm getting ready to shut down the close here. I'm looked at my clothes. I'm sorry. To shut down the show here. I do want to thank everybody here for that's one of my other golf bags. I do want to thank everybody here for the support, and especially those of you who have responded to my emails, to questions, to answer, to give me insight. Am I drunk? No, but I should be, Ryan. I'm still getting slammed in demands from people who rated me once while I was pushing. Well, see, now Mashup Mike, that's boy. Here we go. We're gonna keep rolling. You're still getting slammed and demands. See, I don't like that. I don't like that demands word. I don't like the demands word. Slammed, I could maybe live with. And demands from people who rated me once while I was pushing for partner. Okay, so that goes back to a little bit about what we were talking about before. I'm betting a lot of those people that rated you before to help you get partners are probably still affiliates, right? They're probably not partners. Maybe some are, whatever. Okay, this goes back to what we were talking about before. We're going to go backwards here a little bit. That's my rewind noise. Yeah, a lot of these affiliates that helped people raid, that raided the people because, hey, it's a partner push, Well, now they're kind of left in the cold because now that person, and I'm not using Mike, but now that person has made partner, and they should try and return that favor, okay? Because, hey, thank you. You helped me get here. Let me occasionally, again, you don't have to do it all the time. 1 out of 10 times, raid a non-partner. I've been very guilty of raiding a channel that is very similar to mine for months now. Well, we have a lot in common, and I love the streamer. I've noticed that if they go on while I'm on, everybody leaves and goes to their channel. So I think I need to go back to my old ways and branch out just a little bit. I used to try and, if I was playing a slow night, if I was doing like a Mellow Mondays, Chris Cut does Mellow Mondays, Don't Text the X Mondays. I was raiding Chris, because I kind of felt like, well, I'm doing slow. I should raid into somebody else doing slow and mellow, But like you, 506, I've tried to branch out. I still raid Chris occasionally. I did the other day. But yeah, I'm also raiding people whose show is completely different than mine. Sometimes I'll, Big Dog, who again sometimes he's on. I'll raid Big Dog, and if I'm playing mellow and you go to Big Dog, it's like it's like you just ran into a wall. totally different shows. I think we've seen enough of those clothes. Let's get rid of those clothes. So spread it out. A huggable wall. yes, a huggable wall. I wish, I'm a late night streamer. Generally speaking, I do a few afternoon shows. But guys like Alpha DJ. I love watching Alpha DJ in the morning. He's never on when I can raid. Sometimes he'll do if he's doing a Saturday night show. If I happen to do a weird Saturday night show, I might raid Alpha. Our time zones don't work out. I'm not on, in the late morning, early afternoon when he goes off for him to raid into me. I don't hold that against him, you know. So yeah, I mean the time frame that is very important, and you can't really hold that against anybody. I'm trying to wind this. I'm trying to wind this down. Okay, I think we're getting. I think I'm getting close to my end here, and I think I need to start thanking people again. I started a little earlier. For those of you that don't know this already, oh, look, it just came up in the chat. Stream Elements, thank you very much. Oh, Tennessee Girl, thank you. You brought it in there. I do record the show. I'm recording now. I take it and I put it as is. I don't change anything, and I drop it over there onto YouTube. I do have a channel, and I would love it, if nothing else, if you could follow the channel, and just to show YouTube that I have people that that follow the channel. Chat with Chuck the DJ on YouTube. If you could just go there and just follow the channel. I put all my episodes on there. I put there was a little segment that I took out of an episode. It's called The Spark, and I really liked that. It's like a 5-minute part. Thank you, DC Artist. There's a little 5-minute video on there called The Spark, and we talked about that, and I thought that was a really good segment. And if you don't watch any of the other shows or listen to them, go to The Spark. Go listen to The Spark. You don't have to watch it. You can earbud it and as you're jogging or driving on the car or cleaning the house. But The Spark, I really like that. I really like that one little episode. The first few episodes are a little bit are a little bit less Twitch centric. The last few shows have been very Twitch centric. We talked about keeping people in your stream. We talked about raid trains, and we've talked about partners. So, or on the driving range, Irish Dragon. Thank you, fellow golfer. Again, for those of you that are here, thank you so much. I'm not going to go through the whole chat. The Tennessee Girl mods and DJ Ryan, my mods. Thank you so much. DC Artist, Mr. Latin House, ReadyBot, all my mods. I so appreciate you. I will be back. Well, next Tuesday for this show at 4:00. I'm on a raid train. Mr. Latin House has got an amazing raid train that I think, Mr. Latin House, if you're still with me, I think it starts Friday. I'm on Sunday from 6. I don't know. I'm on Sunday sometime. Check out my schedule. Mr. Latin House has got a huge for the cancer. I'm on at 3 a.m. I could look at my schedule. I feel so stupid now. I should have made a note. I have such a crappy ass memory. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you all for coming. I do appreciate it. I hope to see you. Next week and in shows that will be popping up from time to time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Chat with Chuck. Have something you want Chuck to riff about? Send him a whisper and get ready to be entertained. I'm Greg Murray. Thanks for listening.